Hi, this is Michael DeSilvis from DeSilvis' Medium, the Freedom Network. Yes, we're free. Now, what happened last night? The reason why I got so angry on that video is because the guy, number one, said that someone else made the decision when really it was Brandon who made it in the camping department at store number 56 in Ashland, Virginia. At Bass Pro Shop, he made the decision to not allow us to demo the machine there. He said he was going to go in another direction, and he lied. He said it was somebody else, but it was really him. Because when he called me on the 17th, which I taped the call, he said his name was Brandon. When he called me the other day, it was the same Brandon. And there's not a bunch of Brandons that work there because I checked. It's only him, and he's the one that made the decision to go in another direction. And it wasn't just no. It was because he didn't want me working there because of my glasses. And he lied. He's arrogant. He's cocky. And yeah, I did say a cuss word at the end of that video. Some of y'all probably get a little charge out of that, but I don't usually curse normally, but I did. It's the human side, that old self wanting to come in, man. And that's why I did that. Italian came out, and that's what that Italian does. The Italian definitely did come out of me, because that's how Italians are when they get angry. And it really did come out there for a little bit. But I hope some of y'all probably thought it was hilarious, and yeah, it is kind of funny, but it's not funny really. But the thing is, human. I just wanted to say my frustrations out on YouTube, and that's the place I do it. Sometimes I say my rants out on YouTube, and usually I don't say any bad words, but I did with him because he is one cocky, arrogant, pompous of a human being. And Brandon needs to be disciplined and or fired from his position because he does not put people first and his employees first. I always say when I worked at Lowe's and Walmart or any of these other places, I always said you should always put your employees first before anything else. If you cannot do that, then you will lose morale. That's why the people there at Walmart, don't want to work, or why they want to go on strike because they're being mistreated. Or the same with Lowe's, or why they can't find good help anymore, because people don't want to work somewhere where they're giving you only a little bit above minimum wage. They want to be able to work where they have a competitive wage. What happened to competitive wages so people can actually make a living without having to go on food stamps? Now people, when they work at places like McDonald's and Burger King, they got to go on food stamps. What's the whole point working if you're not going to make the money? So you can work, and so you can afford to eat without having food stamps. Why do we have to go on food stamps? If you're making money, you shouldn't have to go on food stamps to get food. If you're working, you should not have to go on food stamps to get food. You should be able to buy your own food with the money that you make from working at the job that the establishment that you're working at. That's what's so wrong with this company. Big corporations control the dominance of the market. And this is just a small sample of it at Bass Pro, what happened to me. But the big gobblerlets, they don't care anything about their employees or who they serve, because they just care about only their bottom line. And they could care less about you or me, because we're just little peons to them. We're not even important to them. And the people working for them all soak this up like Brandon and think they're just God's gift to their earth, and they think they're higher than everybody when they're not. They're just like you and me. But they think they're higher because they think the stuff don't apply to them as it applies to us as workers. And that's where they're wrong, because they once were workers before they became the big manager. And that's what managers have to remember and think. When people come into a place, they need to value their employees, because good morale, company morale, is always what will bring you a lot more money in the store. I don't care what store it is. And how do you get good morale? Is not by giving them people benefits, but also giving people good raises and giving people good pay grades, pay per hour, not minimum wage, not 50 cents above it or a dollar above it, but, comparable minimum wage would be like $15, $17 an hour for an associate. That would be a good wage for someone to live off of, and they could buy their own food, not have to go on food stamps. It's ridiculous. And that's what makes me mad. And when I saw that at Bass Pro, what Brandon did to me wasn't Bass Pro, but what he did, because it had been a decision what somebody made there with him at Bass Pro, that's what I saw. And so therefore, I think that's bad. I think that's horrible. And, they want to cost and do things like that. Any company wants to do those kinds of things is a horrible excuse to be in business. And so, what I'm saying is, they need to change their act, and they need to change what they're doing, because what they're doing right there is going to cost them a lot of money in the long run. It's going to cost them their business in the long run. So think about that, you big business tycoons, and think about people instead of yourself and your bottom line. How much money you can get by cutting corners and cutting stuff. Do it right and stop cutting corners. And safety should always be first at all times. And you'll get a lot more money on return than doing this shady stuff that's going on in companies today. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spell it out for you. This is my update from the Silva's Media. I'll shoot you with another update tomorrow. Stay tuned and subscribe down below. Subscribe down below. Subscribe down below. See you later.